You know that feeling. You walk into a dealership and discount signs are everywhere. $8,000 off, a massive discount for you. $10,000 off the original sticker price today. $15,000 off a brand new SUV that nobody has even touched yet. Sounds like a great deal, right? But then you look out at the lot. Hundreds of brand new SUVs sitting in rows under the sun. And here's the thing, they've been sitting there for months. Some of them, way longer than that. This isn't about high interest rates. This isn't about people tightening their budgets. When a brand new SUV drops $10,000, $15,000 off sticker and dealers still can't move it, the market is telling you something. Something the dealership sure isn't going to tell you when you walk through that door. Today we're getting into exactly what that something is. 8 SUVs that are piling up on lots across America in 2026. Dealers have slashed prices hard, and buyers are still walking away. We're going to go through each one, look at the real numbers, and tell you exactly why no amount of discount is fixing what's actually broken with these trucks. Let's get into the details right now. We're pulling data from CarEdge, iSeeCars, and Cox Automotive. These aren't opinion pieces. These are hard inventory numbers updated in real time across dealerships nationwide. The metric we're looking at is called market day supply. Basically, if a dealership stopped getting new inventory today, how many days would it take to sell through what's already on the lot? A healthy number is around 45 to 60 days. Everything on this list is sitting at double, triple, sometimes 8 times that number. And here's the part that should make your jaw drop. We're not talking about cheap throwaway vehicles. Every single SUV on this list has an average transaction price between $40,000 and $90,000. These are serious purchases, and dealers have already cut $8,000, $10,000, even $15,000 off the window sticker. The discounts are real. The problem goes much deeper than price. We're counting down from number 8 to number 1. And I'll warn you right now, and specifically, the SUV sitting at number 1 is a brand that spent a decade being one of the most recognized names in this segment. Reliable reputation, strong resale, loyal owners. And right now, it is in complete freefall. Stick around because that one is going to surprise you. Every vehicle on this list has a specific reason, but for this one, the discount isn't working. Now, let's get right into it. Number 8, Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Coming in at number 8, the Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe is sitting at around 180 days of supply. Dealers are cutting $9,000 off sticker, on average, and there are over 14,000 of these sitting unsold across the country, at an average price of $58,000. On paper, this thing looks like a winner. A plug-in hybrid Grand Cherokee. You get the Jeep name, some electric range, and the promise of better fuel economy. Sounds smart, right? Here is where it falls apart. Owners are reporting that the 12-mile electric range drops to 7 or 8 miles in cold weather, which makes the whole hybrid pitch feel like false advertising. But the real gut punch is fuel economy. In pure gasoline mode, when the battery is depleted, this thing gets worse mileage than the standard V6 Grand Cherokee that costs $12,000 less. So you're paying a significant premium for a hybrid system that barely works in winter and makes the car less efficient when it runs out of charge. There are also widespread reports of the battery management system throwing error codes and requiring dealer visits within the first 10,000 miles. Jeep forums are full of owners saying the same thing. The technology feels half-baked, like Jeep needed to check a box and rushed it to production. You can get a standard Grand Cherokee with the same capability and a much simpler powertrain for significantly less money. Even with $9,000 knocked off, buyers are doing the math and walking away. Number 7, Ford Explorer ST, sitting at 192 days. Ford is cutting around $8,000 off, yet $17,000 sit on lots. With an average sticker of $61,000, here is the core problem. Ford took a family SUV, bolted a sportier badge on it, and priced it against vehicles that are actually fast. At $61,000, you're competing with the Kia EV6 GT, the Tesla Model Y Performance, and BMW X5s. The Explorer ST does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. That's rental car territory. Inside, the materials feel like the base model, hard plastics and a rattling console. Ford also had build quality issues, misaligned panels and leaking roof seals. When charging $60,000, buyers expect more than a sticker. $8,000 off and still nobody's biting. Number 6, Volkswagen Tiguan. Now, number 6 on our list is the Volkswagen Tiguan at 211 days of supply. There are around 12,000 of them sitting at dealers, with an average price of $33,000. And right now, Volkswagen is currently discounting around $7,000 off to move them. The Tigon's problem is a slow and painful identity crisis. The current generation feels dated the moment you sit inside. And buyers know it because the European market Tiguan that Volkswagen sells overseas is a completely different, more modern vehicle with a sharply updated interior. American buyers are getting the older version and paying nearly the same price. That alone is infuriating when you dig into it. But it gets worse. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission in the Tiguan has a well-documented reputation for shuddering and hesitating at low speeds, especially in stop-and-go traffic, which is exactly where a family crossover spends most of its life. Owners report that Volkswagen dealers often tell them the shudder is a normal characteristic of the transmission, which is dealership speak for "we know about it, and we're not going to fix it." Meanwhile, Volkswagen just launched the refreshed Tiguan in Europe, and the new Euro version is genuinely impressive. So now you have a situation where American buyers know a better version exists, they're being sold the old one. And the dealers won't budge on the dual-clutch issues. $7,000 off doesn't fix the feeling that you're buying yesterday's car at today's prices. Number 5, Buick Enclave. At number 5, the Buick Enclave is sitting at 238 days. Over 11,000 of them are parked at dealerships, with an average price of $52,000, and dealers are hacking $10,000 off to get people interested. Here is Buick's problem in one sentence. General Motors is selling the Chevrolet Traverse, which shares the same platform, the same basic powertrain, and a nearly identical amount of interior space, for $12,000 to $15,000 less than the Enclave. So what does the Enclave actually give you for that premium? A quieter cabin, slightly nicer seat stitching, and a badge that a large portion of the buying public still associates with their grandparents. Buick has been trying to reposition itself as a near-luxury brand for years. It is not working. Young professionals shopping in the $50,000 SUV range are not cross-shopping the Enclave. They're looking at the Acura MDX, the Genesis GV80, and the Volvo XC90. And buyers who would historically consider the Enclave are waking up to the fact that the Traverse gives them almost everything for a fraction of the price. Even at $10,000 off, the value equation just doesn't work when your own sibling product undercuts you this badly. Number 4, Nissan Pathfinder at 263 days. Nearly 15,000 are sitting unsold at an average price of $43,000, with discounts running around $11,000 deep. The Pathfinder looks fine on the outside. Decent interior, reasonable space. But the moment you start digging into ownership experience, you find the same name showing up over and over. CVT, Nissan's continuously variable transmission, has been one of the most controversial components in the automotive industry for the past decade. Owners across multiple Nissan models report that these transmissions shudder, jerk, and in many cases fail completely well before 100,000 miles. Nissan has extended warranties on some models after class action pressure, which tells you everything you need to know about how widespread the problem is. And here is the thing that really kills the Pathfinder. Nissan as a brand is in serious trouble. They've announced plant closures, executive leadership has been unstable, and there is genuine uncertainty in the market about the brand's long-term direction. When you're dropping $43,000 on a family SUV, you want to know the company is going to be around to honor your warranty and support your vehicle for the next 10 years. Right now, a lot of buyers aren't sure. Nissan can make that promise. $11,000 off doesn't buy that confidence back. Number 3, Dodge Durango. At number 3, the Dodge Durango is sitting at 312 days of supply. Over 6,000 of them are on lots with an average price of $54,000, and dealers are discounting $12,000 to try to move them. Here is the tragedy of the Durango. For years, this was the only mainstream 3-row SUV you could get with a V8 engine. Buyers loved it for that reason. The Hemi sound, the performance, the identity, it was genuinely unique in the market. Then Dodge killed the V8. The Durango now comes with the Hurricane inline 6-cylinder, which is the same engine struggling in the Grand Wagoneer and drawing early reliability concerns. More importantly, Dodge took away the one thing that made the Durango irreplaceable. Without the V8, this is just a heavy, aging 3-row SUV sitting on an old platform. competing against fresher, more fuel-efficient rivals from Kia, Hyundai, and Volkswagen. The loyal V8 buyers are gone. They're not touching the six-cylinder version on principle, and new buyers shopping for a three-row family SUV have no compelling reason to choose the Durango over something more modern. Dodge built a decade of brand equity around that engine. When they pulled it, they pulled the reason to buy. $12,000 off doesn't bring the Hemi back. Number 2, BMW X7. At number 2, the BMW X7 is sitting at 341 days. About 2,500 of them are sitting at dealers. With an average price of $106,000, BMW is cutting $15,000 off. And at a six-figure vehicle, that should feel significant. It barely moves the needle. The X7 is genuinely a good vehicle. Comfortable, powerful, well-built. The problem is not the car. The problem is that the second you drive it off the lot, it starts losing value at a rate that should terrify any rational buyer. A 3-year-old X7 with 30,000 miles is selling for $55,000 to $60,000. That means a new one loses somewhere around $45,000 to $50,000 of value in 3 years. Even after a $15,000 dealer discount, you're still looking at a six-figure purchase. That's going to be worth barely half of what you paid before your kids are out of elementary school. Then there's the ownership cost. Front brake pad and rotor replacement will run you close to $800. An extended warranty quote on an out-of-warranty X7 can exceed $20,000. Oil changes, tire replacements, coolant flushes, everything on this vehicle costs more than it should, because the parts, the labor, and the dealer rates all come with a luxury tax. This is a car that costs a fortune to buy and a fortune to own, and the used market has already priced in how bad the depreciation is. The wealthy and well-informed buyers know this. That's why they're buying 2-year-old ones for $60,000 and letting someone else absorb the hit. Number 1, Volkswagen ID4. And at number 1, the single worst-selling SUV in America right now, the Volkswagen ID4, sitting at 480 days of market day supply. Average price $49,500. Dealers are cutting $13,000 off, and the lots are still full, 480 days. That's not a slow seller. That's a vehicle the market has functionally rejected. Here is what happened. Volkswagen rushed the ID4 to market as their big electric moment, their proof that they could compete with Tesla and take a real piece of the EV segment. And they shipped it before it was ready. The most fundamental problem is the 12-volt battery. The ID4 has an 84 kilowatt-hour main battery pack, more than enough to run everything in the car. But Volkswagen engineered the vehicle to rely on an old-fashioned flooded lead-acid 12-volt battery to handle the door locks, the infotainment system, and the contactors that connect the main battery. The car does not reliably recharge that 12-volt battery from the main pack. So what happens? Owners wake up to a completely dead vehicle. The main battery shows 80% charge on the app, but the 12-volt is dead, which means the doors won't unlock. The car won't boot up, and you have a $49,000 object sitting in your driveway that you cannot get into. This is not a fringe issue. It is widespread enough that it became a defining reputation problem for the vehicle. The infotainment system is just as bad. Owners describe it as sluggish, unresponsive software, running on hardware that feels like a budget Android tablet. Letters appear on the navigation screen seconds after you type them. Adjusting the temperature and volume requires digging through slow-loading submenus, and the sliders for those controls are not backlit, so at night you're running your finger across a dark panel hoping you hit the right spot. But the move that truly destroyed Volkswagen's credibility with ID4 buyers is what they did with software support. Volkswagen declared version 3.x software end of life for vehicles built before 2024. If you bought a 2023 ID4, you are permanently stuck on outdated software because the hardware cannot run the new versions. Volkswagen essentially told its earliest adopters, the people who believed in the product and took a chance on first-generation technology, that their vehicles are now technologically obsolete. 2023 models are selling on the used market for under $20,000 because of it. Current owners are not recommending the vehicle to anyone. The reputation in EV communities is toxic. And at 480 days of supply, this is the most severe inventory failure in the American SUV market today. So there you have it. 8 SUVs, thousands of dollars in dealer discounts, and buyers still walking away. If you look at everything on this list, Three patterns show up every single time. First, broken brand trust. Once buyers lose confidence in a manufacturer's reliability or their willingness to stand behind a product, no discount brings them back. Second, mechanical or software problems that are documented, public, and not going away. Buyers do their homework now, and forum posts and owner complaints travel fast. Third, fundamental value problems that a discount can paper over but never actually fix. When your own corporate sibling is selling a nearly identical product for $15,000 less, cutting $10,000 off doesn't solve the problem. It just makes the math slightly less embarrassing. A discount can lower the price of a vehicle. It cannot lower the fear of owning it. That's what every manufacturer on this list is learning the hard way right now. Have you ever walked into a dealership, ready to buy one of these and walked back out? Drop it in the comments. I'd genuinely like to know what made you turn around. If this breakdown was useful, hit subscribe. We go deep on market data every week, so you know exactly what's happening before you step onto a lot.